Monday, June 27th. Hello, everyone. This is Brian, and today we're going to be looking at how our front yard garden is doing. I'm starting to get my voice back after losing it due to a cold. The cold was very mild in symptoms. I was able to get up and do my normal things. It was like I didn't have anything other than the cough. And yeah, so got my voice. So let's look at what's going on out here. First, we'll start up with this row of tomatoes. These are the Martino's Roma tomatoes. This is a new to us variety, and I looked to plant this because I had hypothesized that it will ripen much earlier than the standard Romas, and that's turned out to be the case. And one of the reasons for having this shade cover that we're using things like borage, burlap. Let's see, what was this? This was a arugula plant and some poppies. The reason for the shade is because we're in the hot parts of our California summer, and the sun is really intense, and they can actually cook the tomatoes if they get direct sunlight. And the reason we need this shade cover is because I trimmed back a lot of the foliage. It was growing beyond this area, and it actually covered our brassicas, like the sprouting cauliflower. And furthermore, it was time to allow the plant to ripen, so we had to come in manually to get them to start ripening. And also, we want this growing area to plant something else, like our trial of brassicas for the summer. So this is the first time we're going to be planting things like cauliflower, sprouting cauliflower, broccoli, broccoli guilan hybrids during this time of year, which is the hot part. Normally, we would plant them late spring so that they can establish and look like this going into the hot months. And so we're going to be doing that trial to see what's possible, because we know in Southern California it's possible to be growing things like broccoli for summer broccoli. So let me show you what summer broccoli looks like. Summer broccoli are basically broccoli sprouts. So this is an example. This is a little bit more mature now, but what we do is we pinch off these side shoots, and when we add them up, they become a good amount, and we can eat them. So here's let's go back over here to this one. So this is a Monty, and we harvest the main crown, and now it's making these side shoots, and these side shoots will turn into little tiny florets, and there's 3 here, and when we get them from several plants, not several, but a couple plants, we'll have enough where it's a sizable amount, and we can feed our family, young family of 4. This one is also another Monty, and I found that some plants don't, after you remove the main crown, they don't make side shoots. What they do is they go and they'll grow new a lot of sprouts out of the ground. And so I'm just watching this one, and most likely what this one will probably remove it because it's not doing a lot of the side shoot action that we're after. So that makes sense. The other thing that we have are the broccoli guilan hybrids, and this one we haven't been able to come out and eat them fast enough. And every day when they look like this, I would tell myself that I'll come out tomorrow and pick it and eat it, and I don't, and it becomes like this, and this is too mature now. So what we do is we just break this off like this so that we can encourage this plant here to make new shoots on the bottom, so we can get something like this. So here's a couple more. Let's break this. Okay, so I recently got a comment on one of the videos about some of the day-to-day chores, and keeping that in mind, so I want to show you some of the day-to-day garden chores, which is when it comes to growing certain things, we have to stay on top of the harvest. If not, then we'll have to make sure we remove it so that we can encourage certain growths. If we wanted to, this bottom part is actually pretty tender still. The stalks, we can just chop them up, put them in a stir fry or put them in soup. But with this, we're going to give it to our rabbit as a treat. So we'll just put that there, and we'll come back for it later. Since we're here our eggplant. This is a Burpee Garden trial plant. This is the Asian Delight eggplant, so it's forming. It's nice and slender. And then we have our peppers here. I'm not going to go into too much detail because it'll take more time than you probably have to watch today. So I'm going to try to keep it short today. So this is the spinning tops from Burpee. So it's making peppers now. And then the other thing that's noteworthy over here is our purple pozzolero corn. It's getting pretty tall. It's gotten up to the part where the street sign is, and it's starting to make tassels. So let me get my hand in there to show you the girth of the stalks here. They're pretty big. So let's come this way. We got the other thing that we have is our corn. This is the early sun glow corn, and it's a old-fashioned corn, so we have to eat it soon because it's ready. The days of maturity was at what, June 22nd, I believe, or even the 16th. The 16th. So we gotta start eating, otherwise they become starchy. Let me peel back one of the ears so you can see the kernels. And the other thing that we have is this year we have corn earworms on the corn, and I know it doesn't look very appealing on the camera, but I wanted to be as open and honest with our content as possible, and make it still watchable. So this is what some of the damage from the corn earworm looks like, and it's mostly cosmetic. So what we'll do is just cut off the tip, just leave the whole ear like this with the husk intact, cut off the tip, and then we feed the tip to our ducks and chickens, and there's plenty more on the bottom to eat. And there are ways to control for corn earworms. The trick that Babette showed us was to use some corn oil or just cooking oil and put a couple of drops on the silks. The other way is to get a clothespin and pin it. So depending on the situation, you can do that. I found that for us, it's just the easiest if we just leave them alone, since we're not selling the corn. Just leave them alone because it doesn't require effort on my end to come in and do that. And then we can feed the corn earworm and the corn to the chickens and ducks, so everyone gets a little bit of something. The other thing I find is that certain years we don't even get corn earworms at all, and I'm now focusing on pests and plants, and I'm just trying to figure out if I have a theory where pests is usually from stressed plants, and sometimes it's just the way they cycle. Some years you'll get more than others, but most times it's manageable and we have something to eat without intervention. So that's our pest spiel, and let's come out here to the front. I'll show you some more of the examples. This one of the summer broccoli. So you got some of these florets here. We'll harvest them, collect them, and have enough for dinner. This is a cauliflower, and you can see there's a bit of cauliflower here. I'm always doing trials, because I found with gardening is that most advice is for traditional, conventional gardening, and what we do is a little bit different. It's unconventional, and by spending the time to understand our space and climate, and also the Earth system's principles, we can actually tailor and tweak things so that we can grow things that are otherwise not possible in the conventional method. So that's why you're seeing these things where we have trials of plants, and we're always growing something. Like we also have potatoes that we're growing in the summertime. All right, let's come down here. This is a ahi lemon pepper. It's a really cool pepper. So we're hoping to see some ahi lemon peppers soon. And when I say ahi lemon, or when I say ahi pepper, that's kind of redundant, because ahi is pepper in the Peruvian culture. Let's see, We got some giant red onions. These are a lot bigger than I would like. I prefer them to be half that size. Obviously we can pull them out, but sometimes it's good to have some big ones for some big meal cooking. So we have 3 of these large ones. We have smaller ones that are about baseball size in the garden elsewhere. And then in front here, we have another broccoli that's doing sprouts here. You can see the sprouts. And we also have another broccoli over here that is done in terms of its production, its productivity, but we're gonna leave it in place because we are not ready to plant something else yet. Ideally, plants we'll just leave in place because they act as living mulch. If we pull this out, our soil is gonna be baked by the sun, and it will reduce the microbial life that's down here. So yeah, so that's what's grown on in this area, and that pretty much concludes our front yard garden update. The things that we'll be doing today will be to remove that one broccoli and look to plant one of these in its place. And then with this corn patch, I'm kind of debating whether to clear this back and start planting something else. I want to do that, but at the same time, the pinto beans are right here. So right now it's just deciding whether it's worth it to have pinto beans or to plant something else. And I'm probably gonna vote for removing the pinto beans so that we can get this growing area to plant our brassicas, because we have quite a few of them here that we want to plant and do trials of. The other option is to actually remove the tomato row right there. It'll free up a lot of space. So I think that's what we're gonna do first. We're gonna harvest those tomatoes. They got some color on them. That means they can finish up inside in terms of ripening, and they'll free up a nice sunny spot for our brassicas. And then we'll focus on this area next and decide what to do. It's really a debate about whether we want to let this bean patch continue to grow or not. And the other thing I discovered is that when it comes to the 3 sisters method and growing beans, make sure to pick a variety of corn that has nice strong stems and stalks. The early Sunglow is known to only grow 3 to 4 feet tall, and as a result they're not strong enough to hold up all the beans that's grown on them. So they've slouched and fallen over as a result. All right, that's gonna be it with on our front yard update. Thanks for coming out as always, and I hope you have a nice day and a wonderful week. See you in the next video.